The college sports conference, the Pac-12, is about to get a lot more airtime in China. Alibaba has acquired the rights to broadcast Pac-12 sports across China through 2024. The deal marks the first time a college sports network will be made available in China. Our Bloomberg editor-at-large, Corey Johnson, sat down with the Pac-12 commissioner, Larry Scott, and asked how big a deal this truly is.
It's a really big deal for us. We're the first conference to really have a comprehensive partnership outside the U.S. They're going to help us distribute a vast amount of content, 175 live events to the Chinese audience, as well as help us continue to have a regular season basketball game in China. So it's a big milestone for us.
Is there one sport in particular that's dominant? Obviously college football and Pac-12 is so huge with such great powerhouses like Stanford, USC, Cal, Oregon, and beyond.
Well, the Chinese audience loves prestigious brands. And our Pac-12 universities, some of the ones you mentioned, right, some of the most well-known education brands.
I just threw both Arizona and Washington under the bus. My apologies, but
We've got 12 amazing brands. But the interest in U.S. higher ed amongst the Chinese audience is very significant, as well as Olympic sports generally. But I'd say amongst all the sports, basketball has the most interest. The NBA's done very well in China. The Chinese play and love basketball. And one of the interests in the Pac-12 is they know so much about basketball. They want to see where the NBA stars come from. And they're fascinated to see the highest level of amateur athletics and amateur collegiate athletics twinned with higher education. It's kind of a novel concept.
And you're going to have a game, as you mentioned, also in China.
Yes, we're the only conference that's got a regular season basketball. This is an exhibition game.
And I wonder, too, when we look at how this partnership works on a technological basis, that's really interesting to me as well.
Yes, so we, in order to make this partnership work, they're going to distribute 175 live events. If we were still relying on satellite delivery and all the costs and logistics involved in that, we probably couldn't do it. But a digital transmission has really allowed us to keep our costs down when it comes to the international distribution of our content on the one hand. On the other hand, the connectivity we've got with each of our campuses allows us to produce, in a very efficient way, a huge quantity of events. So on the Pac-12 networks here in the U.S., we produce 850 live events per year.
And the quality is good enough that you can take a game from Eugene and edit it in San Francisco and broadcast it in China, and it's the same quality that we would have seen on ESPN 5 years ago?
You would not know the difference.
It's remarkable. It seems to be the other aspect of it isn't just about doing a Pac-12 football game that might get a lot of carriers, a lot of interest, but you could do a women's swimming match at Cal that might not have ever seen TV because your cost of production is so much lower and you've got your own network where you can put the stuff out.
Yes, well, that's really why we created the Pac-12 networks, to be masters of our own destiny, to control. And it's kind of true to our mission. In the past, we'd just license all our rights to ESPN, Fox, or others, and we still license half of our football games and about 70 men's basketball games, and that brings in significant revenue for our schools, significant exposure. But for the other football games, basketball games, and all these Olympic sports that might not have an ROI for an ESPN or Fox, so they won't telecast them, we care. Our mission is to promote the broad-based competition across all these sports. We've got 7,000 student athletes across 35 different sports. And these are the best of the best swimmers, track and field, soccer, rowing. And we want to promote these student athletes. We want to make our alumni and fans have access. And so we invest. We invest to produce these events and expose them. So on top of football and basketball games on the Pac-12 network, we've got 750 other events that otherwise would not be on TV.